One of the secrets to retiring successfully is something so simple, many people overlook it. I'm going to point out what that is and why, helping you with that and more. Coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so do you have a goal of retiring? We've helped thousands of people retire over the years, and from that perspective and just being, planning nerds, we've just seen a lot of people approach it the right way and have used that experience and our technical knowledge to help people approach it the right way. And I tell you, number one, you've got to take a comprehensive approach to your entire financial life, looking at all 6 areas of your finances. One of them is retirement planning, and that just sort of requires that you look at your cash flow, present financial position, your protection plan, your tax planning, how your investments are structured, and your estate plan. You've got to look at all of those to make a great decision about retirement. But there's one that I've seen more and more catch people by surprise. And it's sort of embedded within that comprehensive approach. And that is the importance of knowing your budget in order to retire. And don't turn it off, right? Because that, knowing your budget is it's not glamorous at all. It's blocking and tackling. And you're going to think what most people think, and that is, isn't that important when I'm, struggling financially, or maybe early in my career when I don't have a lot of financial experience? By the time I'm ready to retire, I've built up a lot of money. I've saved up, $1 million, a couple $1 million, something like that. I don't need to budget. I don't need to know what my monthly expenses are. Guys, I can't tell you how often, as we're helping people with the planning process for retirement, it's we're guiding them through, and yep, it makes sense, and okay, we're on the right track, and you're in good shape, blah, blah, blah. And then as we get close, as we're right at the doorstep of retirement, when we're talking about the actual income plan, I cannot tell you how many couples, how many individuals sort of panic. Not panic is probably too strong a word, but get overly concerned when it suddenly, well, I actually don't know if that's the right amount of income. I kind of don't know how much we're spending. And of course, despite their concern, your CFP or, me and my team, we're doing the math to say, no, this is going to fit, this is going to work. But still, sometimes it doesn't appease that concern. Like, wait a second, is that going to fit? Is that going to be enough? And some of this is connected to, well, while I'm working, I know I'm making this amount. My salary is 180, or my salary is 250, or my salary's, whatever it is. And going from, well, this is your salary and you get a bonus or something like that, to, all right, this is now what you're going to withdraw from your investments every month. That can be an eye-opener, okay? So, but it is wildly important, again, that you're taking this comprehensive approach to your finances, and you've got to know your monthly budget or your monthly spending habits in order to retire confidently. I'm going to give you 3 reasons, very clear reasons, why that is required. First and foremost, you're going to get to that point where you're going to have to figure out, how much do I need to withdraw from my retirement dollars, from my nest egg, to supplement my Social Security and my other income sources? And is that the right amount? And here's why you need to know, is that the right amount? Because how much money you draw out of your investments it impacts how long those investments last. You've got to figure out a sustainable withdrawal rate, right? You've got to figure out a sustainable withdrawal rate. Working with your certified financial planner, you're going to do your 5-factor retirement plan. You're going to build out all of those variables into a sophisticated system that can run different modules and do stress tests and all of that. And they're going to help you make sure that you're making a decision, that your plan works, that there's high likelihood, that there's high confidence that your money is going to last as long as you need it to. Okay, so that's all the high level work. But then when it comes down to coming up with your income plan, where will you be drawing money from, which accounts, how much you're going to draw from, how much tax are you going to withhold, that sort of thing. You've then got to just double check that to say, okay, wait, all right, so to do all of this, we're going to be withdrawing, $5,000 from the investments. Doing the math, that's a withdrawal rate of X% of the portfolio. Is that sustainable? does that work? And so here's the thing. If you don't know how much exactly you need on a monthly basis, and I don't mean exactly to the dollar, but to $100, to $500, I mean, you're rounding to a cent. Not every single month is going to look the same, but knowing your spending level enough so that you can say, yep, we need about $4,000 from the investments every month, or $5,000 from the investments every month. Knowing that will then allow you to do that reverse calculation to say, well, what's the withdrawal rate? Is that a sustainable withdrawal rate? So that's the number one reason. That's the number one reason why I would argue you've got to understand your budget. Yes, early on in your life and early on in your career and when finances are tight, but you also need to understand that right as you're retiring so that you can know the how much you need to withdraw from your investments to ensure it's a sustainable withdrawal rate. The second reason why you need to know your budget and your monthly spending habits going into retirement is so that you can make a great Social Security decision. So many people make an emotional Social Security decision, and when an emotional Social Security decision aligns with the one that's the right one for you, fantastic. But by and large, when you look at the numbers, most people draw their Social Security as soon as they can. And you might say, well, that's at 62, right? And well, yes, it's at 62, but if you're still working and earning enough money, then your Social Security would be penalized. So most people draw Social Security as soon as they retire, as soon as they possibly can. Instead of actually doing the math to say, well, wait a second, should I delay for a year? Should I delay until 67? Should I delay until 70 even? And no one likes hearing that because you've been paying into this system for every single paycheck since you started working. And there's always the uncertainty that money is not in your hands, it's not in your account, it's, in the government's hands. So there's this uncertainty that, well, will I end up getting that money? Will I live long enough? All those reasons, of course, justify and make you feel like, no, give me the money. I've been paying into this for so long. However, understanding your monthly budget and your spending needs may help you slow down to actually do the math to say, okay, no, really, what's the best way for me to draw Social Security? If you are married, then you've got to look at you and your spouse's situation. That sometimes can influence, it's going to make sense for you to draw right away, or it's going to make sense for your spouse to draw right away, but you to wait a little bit, something like that. So understanding your spending will free you up from making such an emotional choice with Social Security. It may still make sense to draw Social Security right away. I'm not suggesting that it wouldn't in your situation, but understanding what your budget is, what your spending needs are, can help you be unemotional and make a great decision with when to draw Social Security. And then finally, the third reason why I would argue at retirement, at a time when you've saved up more money than you've ever had in your life and you're ready to step away from that paycheck, you've got to know your budget. And again, that's almost a paradox, because that's the time when you should feel the most financially free, and it's a time when you really need to understand, all right, how much do we spend? What's our monthly budget? And this third reason is because in retirement, some of your expenses go away, some new expenses are introduced, and a lot of expenses change. And if you don't have a handle on that, and if you are not working with a certified financial planner who's preparing you for that, then there again, you might make a mistake as to when to draw Social Security, how much you're drawing out from your investments, drawing out too much, and so on, not withholding the right taxes, withholding too many taxes, those sorts of things. So what are some of the expenses that change? I mean, right, what you spend before retirement is what you're going to spend in retirement, right? Well, no. And there's a couple, I'm going to do a video about this coming up, but there's a couple very clear ones. When you're working, typically your employer is helping to pay some of your health insurance. And then maybe you're paying some, but you live on what's left. You live on the net, your net check deposit, right? Your direct deposit from your paycheck. So out of your monthly budget, most of us don't have a spot where we're budgeting for health insurance. Well, listen, in retirement, you're going to be paying your own health insurance. If you're on Medicare, if you go traditional Medicare, yeah, Part B and Part D will probably come out of your Social Security. But as you're planning your Social Security, you're looking at what your Social Security number amount is. You're not looking at what the net is after the health insurance. And then further, you're going to add a supplement policy, which is going to cost another $180 or something per person per month. So Typically, while you're working, you're not budgeting for health insurance. And yet in retirement, it's one of the most important, one of the biggest expenses that you're going to face. Speaking of the biggest expense you're going to face, what about your mortgage? Well, that's one that likely you've had and you've been budgeting for. It's part of your monthly expenses while you're working, but hopefully in retirement, your mortgage gets paid off early in retirement, or maybe that's the trigger that, hey, I'm going to feel free to retire once I get that mortgage paid off, and all of a sudden that expense, that lifestyle is not going to be there. And so you're going to have, those are just a couple of the many examples where your actual monthly spending does change in retirement. Some expenses go away, FICA. Some new expenses are introduced, health insurance, and then some expenses change. I spend more money on a Saturday while I'm working than on a Tuesday, because Tuesdays I'm at work and we're hustling outside of work, getting kids there, but on Saturdays we're open and we can go out to eat and we can go shopping, those sorts of things. So how does it look when retirement is 6 Saturdays and a Sunday? You might spend more money. So having a handle on your monthly expenses allows you to have a good baseline to adapt to as you're planning for retirement. So those are the 3 reasons why, in order to retire with confidence, you need to have a good handle and understanding of what your monthly budget is, what your spending habits are. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting to think about. However, it's crucial to having a successful retirement. Work with your certified financial planner on that. They're going to do comprehensive financial planning, so they're going to have an understanding and do an analysis of your present financial position. They're going to be able to help you with all of that. If your CFP is not helping you with that, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.